call from?
Randall.
An inmate at the Virginia Department of Corrections, Red Onion State Prison. To accept this call, press 0.
This is Red Onion Randy, and welcome to my podcast. I hope you enjoy listening to me. I've received some inquiries about prison clothes and prison fashion, how we wear our hair, beards, facial hair, stuff of that. So that's what I'm going to discuss today. The cheapest that they can possibly make. As a matter of fact, they're mostly made by prisoners themselves. The female prisoners at Fluvanna, Virginia, in the U.S., and they're also made. Some of the clothing is made by the Institute for the Blind in Charlottesville, Virginia, my hometown. And the second option is, if you can afford it, you can buy personal clothes from Keefe Commissary. Those are quite expensive. Keefe has a tendency of charging you 200% profit for their product. But at the end of the day, it is worth it because the state clothes suck. The state clothes use the cheapest material, the cheapest labor, and they're not good. I remember on numerous occasions, when you turn in a laundry request form for new clothes to the laundry manager, if it's been, the required 6 months, you have to wait 6 months before you can get something new. So you can only get new clothes twice a year if you rely upon the state for your clothing. And there's been many, many times when you get something new, like boxers, brand spanking new. You put them on and you go about your day, and for some reason you have to squat down to get some. And literally the whole back of it, the seam just busts wide open. Ass cheeks hanging out everywhere. And the thing is, there's nothing you can do. You can sit there and write it up. You can sit there and try to put in for new ones. One, you're not going to get it. And two, they're liable to charge you for destroying state property. And then you have to pay for it. So the clothes suck. There's been many times, and I'm not trying to gross you out. I'm just telling you how it is. Not all the time, but there have been many times where I've put in for new clothes. And they don't send brand new clothes to you. They send used clothes. I've gotten socks where dudes would masturbate in them. And there would be cum stains all in the socks. I've gotten sheets, underwear that's got shit stains on them. You get some very disgusting things sometimes because the state doesn't want to pay for new clothes, so they'll just send used stuff. That's why a lot of guys in prison, whenever they go to exchange laundry, they will take it and rip their clothes up and cut their clothes up to where they cannot be salvaged. They cannot be reused. Just so the state is forced to give a person new clothes when they need new clothes. Me, because I have a prison job and I have 2 friends who bless me every month, and I have a couple of other friends who send me a little bit here and there when they can, and God bless them for doing so. So I buy clothes from commissary. I buy boxer briefs, which are Andrew Scott. I buy a couple of T-shirts, which are actually Hanes T-shirts, so they're name brand. They're actually kind of nice. They're soft, they're comfortable, they're lightweight. They're really good for wearing in the summertime. And I buy thermal clothes, thermal tops and thermal bottoms that I wear because usually I'm pretty cold all the time. Though lately the heat has been pumping in here, so that's been a big help. Another thing about laundry is this. You send it into laundry, you're not guaranteed to get it back. People in prison for a reason. And people in prison tend to steal. So if you send personal clothes into the laundry in your laundry bag, you're subject not to get it back, especially, you know, 'cause you can buy gray fleece shorts that's got a drawstring, no pockets. They're nice. I actually have a couple of pair. But if you send them in and guys in the laundry see the shorts, if you don't have your name written on them in big, bold block letters where just there's no getting it off of there, they not coming back, period. Dudes in laundry will steal you blind. And they'll take it. They won't keep it because they're not stupid, because they know you're going to say something, say, yo, look, dude, I didn't get my laundry back, and the CO goes over there. If you can get them to go over there and say something and try to find them, they're not stupid enough to have it on their person. They're going to sell it to somebody else in their pot or on the yard somewhere. You know, that's just what some guys do. And another thing is, even when you do send laundry, it's in a laundry bag. And as I've previously mentioned, the state of Virginia and all prison systems worldwide are cheap as hell. I mean, they are just as cheap as they get. So instead of just putting your laundry in by itself and washing it and then pulling it out and drying it and then sending it back to you after everybody's laundry is done, they stuff as many people's laundry bags into that machine as will fit in there. The door will barely close on there. So your clothes aren't tumbling around and, you know, they're all scrunched together and pressed up together where they don't get washed. You know, a lot of times they come back dirtier than you sent them in. You know, they get stained. They don't stay fresh and white. You know, so that's why I wash my clothes in the sink. I'll clean the sink out. I'll put tape down over the hole in the bottom of the sink, and then I'll fill it up with hot water. And I'll buy little small boxes of all detergent powder from Commissary. And you can get 3 laundries out of one box. That's the only reason I can afford to buy it. Other than that, I just have to use shampoo or soap. And that keeps my clothes nice and white. And I'll let it sit in there, and then I'll get in there, and, you know, I'll scrub them out and do all that stuff, and then I'll rinse them out, and I'll hang them up on a clothesline that I got running from the door to the handrail along the side wall, and I'll hang them up, which right now I'm actually looking at a washcloth, a towel, boxer briefs, T-shirt, and a pair of boxers that I worked out in that I washed earlier today. And that's how I do my laundry. And the reason why I take the money that I do get to buy personal clothes is because the state clothes are made from the cheapest material possible. They are so stiff. They are so scratchy. I mean, you will peel the skin off of you just scratching because you're constantly itched from the time you put them on to the time you take them off. They're just the worst. I mean, they suck. Nobody likes them. And, like, you know, when you leave the cell, unless you're going outside on the rec yard, you can't wear your shorts. You know, you have to wear the orange or burgundy pants. And they're basically just, you know, like smocks that you see that nurses and doctors wear in a hospital, just incredibly cheaply made and so much worse. But the thing is, I'll wear 1X pants. Now, they fit me in the waist just fine. They're not baggy on me. They're not tight on me. I got a little freedom of movement on it. But the pants legs are a good 9 to 10 inches longer than my feet are. You know, so I have to roll them up, and I don't like them rolled up around my ankles. It's just uncomfortable, and it just feels weird. So I roll them all the way up to the knee, and I kind of sort of wear them like shorts. Some guys wear them like that. Some guys don't. Some guys will take a razor blade and just cut them off and try to hem them themselves. But I don't have a needle or access to a needle and thread, and I'm not that handy at sewing anyway, so I just simply roll them up. Plus, I don't feel like listening to their mouths because I got too much other stuff on my plate to deal with than their pettiness. But you have some guys, especially the black guys. You know, black guys, I've never yet met a black guy that is not into fashion. You know, they're not into swag. They're not into looking good and so on and so forth. So you have some of them, they try to do what they can to add little personal touches to their wardrobe. You know, like some guys will sit there and take a pen and draw on a T-shirt or draw on a hat, you know, like a symbol or a sports logo or something of that nature. And sometimes the CEO say something to them about it. Sometimes they take it and confiscate it, saying it's been altered, so which technically makes it contraband. And sometimes they don't say nothing, and, you know, it's no big deal. It just really depends on the CEO and their mood that day. But that's pretty much fashion, you know, or clothing in the state of Virginia. If you cannot afford to buy your own and you are going to pay a lot of money for it, then you're stuck wearing state clothes. And, you know, people say, well, if you do something long enough, you can get used to it. You'll never get used to the state clothes because they just itch. I mean, man, they freaking tear you. It's like being eaten alive by mosquitoes. Imagine just stripping down butt-ass naked in the middle of the Congo on a sweltering night and walking 2 miles through just clouds of mosquitoes. And that's what wearing prison clothes feels like. I wouldn't recommend it, but that's what it feels like, just to give you an idea of why guys are willing to spend the money to buy personal clothes from Keefe, even when we have to pay them 200% higher than what we should have to pay them.
You have 1 minute remaining.
This has been Red Onion Randy. For those of you on Apple Podcasts, I would really appreciate if you would not only rate me 5 stars or whatever you feel I'm worth, but you would also review me and give me a good review so that hopefully I can reach others. Don't forget to check out my website, redonionrandy.com. Hope you enjoy listening to me. Take care and stay safe.
Thank you for using GTL.